Hey, this is Todd Jensen, the VP of Marketing here at Best Company, and I'm honored today to have our CEO, Landon Taylor. Great to have you here, Landon.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, super excited to talk with you today. Just wanted to pick your brain a little bit about word of mouth marketing, about what you've built here at Best Company, and then things that you're really excited about. So let's jump right in, Landon. Tell us a little bit about your professional journey. I mean, what brought you to Best Company anyway?
Yeah, love it. So I'll try to be brief to not bore you too much. But going back to 2013, so my background was heavy in affiliate marketing, lead generation for business. And that can kind of be summarized in customer acquisition, helping brands acquire new customers. And so we had an agency that would generate leads for companies, and we got really good at doing so. And in the course of providing that service to businesses, in about 2014, 2015, we had a number of clients who were starting to engage with review sites. And there was a lot of frustration, a lot of frustration. They felt like their brand was held ransom and that they were working with kind of a coercive engagement with these review sites that basically they had to pay X to be ranked, at a certain level or score at a certain level. And so we saw that and said, not only is that a disservice to the brand, it's also a disservice to the consumer, right? Who's looking to make a confident purchasing decision and one that they can really not have buyer's remorse, right? Have a lot of confidence. And so that launched us into this world of reviews, and we created a review site for a specific industry, did another one for another industry, quickly realized that there was a need that we were filling, and that's when we started bestcompany.com in 2016. So, generally, I've been an entrepreneur since college. Got married in 2005 and finished my schooling at Brigham Young University. It took 2 years too long because I launched into entrepreneurship but eventually graduated there through online courses, and then have been an entrepreneur since then. So it's been a fun ride, a lot of learnings, a lot of amazing people I've worked with over the years, ups, downs, in betweens, and I've kind of come to the point where what I'm finding the most gratitude in is the journey, the people you meet along the journey, the challenges you get to work through, and all the fun that comes with that. So that's where we are today, Best Company, and I'm excited to drill in more and talk more about what the Best Company platform is for consumers and for brands.
That's fantastic. So really sensing this frustration from business owners and small and medium-sized businesses, and then finding a need and then marrying those two together. What a journey that must be. So who have been some of your inspirations along this journey, Landon? For you as a person, who's helped you become a better person along this journey?
Yeah, there's a few. An author that I've always liked his approach is Simon Sinek. The start with why. It just kind of really brings you back to the root of why you do things. Not only from a business standpoint, but also a personal standpoint. And I think perspective, like why we do things that we do, if you don't have that foundation, you can kind of just get caught in the wind and not really have a direction. And so that's been one that I've always kind of followed, but more deeply, I'm not, I don't really have somebody in the corporate world that necessarily stands out. It's been more like the people in my day-to-day life, right? I think of my parents, I think of my in-laws, people who silently go about their business. They look outward for opportunities to serve and help. That they're not focused on themselves, they're focused on what they can do for others and the impact they can make. And that's been a really solid foundational example in my life to just see how they go about their business. They're not, they're not necessarily like popular in the business world or have exits or I find value in strong examples in the people who just quietly go about their business. They're people of integrity, and they look to just influence the world for good. And those are the people that I learn a ton from. I'm inspired by, and and hopefully can follow their lead in doing so.
I love that. So people that are quietly going about making the world a better place. One thing I noticed from day one talking to you, and I notice it day to day, is the energy with which that you infuse every conversation with, that you infuse into Best Company. What do you attribute that to? Just the sheer energy. I mean, is that just something you wake up with? I mean, how do you foster that, and how do you generate that?
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you're working with awesome people on an awesome product, trying to solve a big problem, right? And so, um, my background growing up, I was involved in sports from a very young age. I was, part of some really good teams. Had opportunity to be a leader on those teams. I've, opportunity in my church to serve and be a leader there. And I just love team. I love challenges. I love, if things are just kind of coasting, the blood doesn't get going, right? It's not exciting. And we've for the last 5, 7, 6, 7 years have really been trying to tackle a big need. And because of that, when you have amazing people who are energized, I mean, Todd, you're one of the most energetic people I know on the planet. It's contagious, right? And the culture that we try to that we optimize toward at Best Company is a contribution culture where it's not about the person, it's about the team. It's not about who is right, it's about what is right. And so that team element, when there's wood behind the arrow and they're all focused on the same goal. There's so much power and energy that comes from that. And it's just fulfilling, right? And whether or not the outcome is here or here in terms of monetary benefit, just solving big problems and working on big challenges with cool people, it just is so fun. It's so fun, right? Like in sports, I always use sports analogies. That's just what I know. You win some, you lose some, right? But in both instances, you're with an amazing team, you're building relationships, and you're working on big problems to solve.
That's a fantastic answer. And that leads to my next question. Because of what you've built, this team here at Best Company, the wonderful service that we're able to provide to companies, what makes you the most proud when you think of what Best Company is?
Gosh, great question. And that's, bringing back a flood of memories. We've been at this for 6+ years, and we've been at it in a bootstrap fashion, right? So it's been a long-term approach, keeping our grit and our pedal to the metal and just sticking with it, right? And there's been so many times where things have really been going high, and so many times we've had to navigate storms, and COVID. Right now we're looking at a potential recession. Key people who have moved on, or there's been times where you just had to say, you know what, you dust yourself off and you move forward. And in the times when things are really high, you stay grounded and make sure that you celebrate the wins, but you don't get comfortable, right? And I've coached sports in the past, and I used to tell my teams all the time, never too high, never too low, steady as you go, right? Just keep going. And I think, in the business world, I think that's the biggest challenge is, are people patient enough? Do they have enough grit to just see things through? And that doesn't mean you're going to be an overnight success. So I think that's what I'm most proud of, Todd, is that we've stuck with it. We're starting to see some really, really exciting parting in the clouds of product market fit with our platform and what we're doing for brands and what we're doing for consumers. And so knowing that we've stuck with it and we didn't give up at mile 20 and we're just going to keep going, that's what I'm most proud of. And those who have been here for so many years on the team, those who are bought into the mission and the vision, that brings me a ton of I just feel really grateful, right, and proud of what we're doing.
How do you build that culture as the leader of this team? What advice would you give to another leader, either a CEO or a growth manager? how can they contribute to a culture of trust and a culture of grit that you talked about? How can you actually do that intentionally?
Yeah, great question. So it's definitely something that is not, um, it can't be bought or it can't be faked. It's something that's earned over time. It's giving people that you work with autonomy, giving them space to to make mistakes, to play to their strengths, coach them along the way, and encourage them. What you say and what you do need to be in line. There's so many ways as a business owner you can say one thing and then do another, and that in time comes out and erodes trust. So in those quiet moments when nobody else can see, what are you doing as a business owner to uphold what you've said and what you present to the world? And if it's real, if it's aligned, then people over time just come to realize, like, okay, this is a place, these are people, this is a platform I can trust. And then if they have autonomy, like, everybody has superpowers, everybody has strengths. They just need the space, they need the support to let those flourish. And so, we in a contribution culture, it's we hire for contributors, right? People who just want to contribute, and then we try to give them the trust and autonomy to let their strengths flourish. So that's like within the walls of our company. That's how we built trust. And then in terms of on our platform, when consumers come to our platform, the ethos, the impetus of why we even created bestcompany.com was to provide a transparent and trusted platform, not pay to play, one that was very clear and distinct on how we score companies. And so we could just empower the consumers with the information they needed to make a confident decision. And then for brands, we give every brand, we want the cream to rise to the top. Those who do right by their customers, we want them to have the tools they need to shine a light on what they do well. So all brands have the same tools available to them. And it's not this coercive, hey, you have to pay us X amount if you want this benefit or you want us to hide negative reviews. None of that. It's very much trusted, transparent, so that both consumers and brands win. Now, if a brand doesn't do right by their customers, we'll shine a light on that, and it won't be a good experience for them. But consumers deserve that, that kind of unbiased and support from a platform like ours. If I could tell you a brief story of our early days as a company that kind of speaks right to this. So we created the platform to be a alternative solution to the pay-to-play review sites, right? And we were in our early days, we were scraping. We've always been bootstrapped, so we were just scraping to grow and do something awesome. And we had a client come to us who was used to working with these other review sites. So they came into the meeting and they said, we want to buy the top spot in our category. And here's $1 million. $1 million was a big thing for us at that point in time, early in our stage as a company. And because from the very foundation, we said, no, this is our core ethos that we have to have a transparent scoring algorithm. We turned it down. They said, okay, how about $1.5 million? Didn't blink, turned it down. So from the very early days, we've held to this ethos. And we feel that if we compromise that, we lose the very fabric of what our platform means. Now, we compete in Google Ads, we compete in Facebook and other marketing channels, right, where we have to acquire traffic. And so we have sponsored listings, but we make it very clear and disclose on those sponsored listings that they are such. In terms of the scoring, how we score a company, completely algorithm-based, cannot be manipulated by anybody in the company. And it goes back to that early experience we had with a company that wanted to buy a spot.
Let's talk a little bit more on the word of mouth marketing. So we have the review site here at Best Company that's doing everything that you just explained. Let's talk a little bit more about word of mouth marketing. We hear that we hear that online. I mean, that's a buzzword right now in marketing. Help us understand, how do you define it? What's word of mouth marketing to you?
Yeah, I love this. Love this topic. It's kind of a nebulous thing, right? So you're a marketer, Todd. When business owners, marketers talk about word of mouth marketing, it's this nebulous. If we do a good job, people will refer. They'll talk about our brand, and we'll get referral business, right? And there's multiple kind of elements to a word of mouth marketing strategy, and it's hard to draw a direct line of ROI to those efforts, right? So typically what a company does is they have a team over brand, a team over reviews. So to answer your question, how do we define it, right? Very simply, here's how I see word of mouth marketing. It's three pillars. It's reviews and video testimonials. You want to draw out from your customers their happy experience, also known as user-generated content, UGC, call it what it is. Reviews and video testimonials, pillar one. Second is, what do you do with those reviews and video testimonials and the brand reputation you've built? So we call that reputation marketing, also known as social proofing, or building brand trust. But so think anywhere a consumer will engage with your brand, there should be solid reputation marketing collateral or social proofing, right? So on a website, it manifests in a badge or a widget of reviews, testimonials. In sales and marketing collateral, same thing. So that's the second pillar, is reputation marketing. And then the third is, if you have a happy customer, the very next question should be, will you refer your friends? And here's how you do so. So the third pillar is referrals, and we feel that if a company is focused on those three, now, like I said, what they'll do is they'll typically hire teams to handle various elements of all that. And so what we want to do is bring that into something that you can pull off the shelf, and it can be packaged in one platform. And so our mission at Best Company is to systematize word of mouth marketing for brands to help them grow their business.
That makes a lot of sense. For a company out there, for a brand that's looking to act right now, and improve their word of mouth marketing, what's one thing specifically that, after listening to this podcast, they can implement right now that can really drive some of those referrals and some of that reputation improvement and some of those increase in positive reviews? What's something they can do right now?
Yeah, great question. First and foremost, get a profile on Best Company. That sounds biased, but establish a home base, right? Your profile on Best Company is a home base and something that will just build your presence. Then get reviews. We have a plug and play service and platform to help you get positive reviews and video testimonials. Once you have those raw assets, one-click tools to turn those into reputation marketing collateral. So pull a snippet, put it on your website to show reviews. So really it starts with, get your profile on Best Company and start getting reviews. Now, if word of mouth marketing is somewhat of a new concept, right, or you feel like maybe you're touching on a few of the elements of word of mouth marketing, I'd say get your sales and marketing leaders in your company together and say, guys, we're going to make word of mouth marketing a systematic strategy within our company. And we're going to put effort and energy and focus behind it. Because here's the thing, Todd, is it's getting more and more difficult to acquire customers through the traditional channels of Google Ads, Facebook. I mean, those who are listening to this who dealt with the Facebook iOS change, they know exactly what I'm talking about, or a Google algorithm change. Like, you're at the mercy of those platforms. Now, by all means, those are always going to be fruitful channels for acquiring new customers. But why not control your own destiny when it comes to generating new business? And that's through your happy customers, right? So if you're already going to great lengths to do right by your customers and provide a good service, then word of mouth marketing has got to be a core strategy within your business, because that's something you can control. It's the highest LTV. It's the most efficient CAC. There's so many reasons. So to answer your question, what can they do now? Apply some focus and energy towards it and get your leaders involved. Establish a profile and best company, start getting reviews, and then we'll help you take it from there and make it just a systematic thing that really, once you set it and it's running, it's a virtuous cycle. You get reviews, you market your reputation, get new customers, more reviews, and it just feeds itself. Pretty exciting flywheel.
It really makes sense, and it's really growth done the right way, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're treating your customers well, then utilize these tools so that those customers can start marketing for you and bring
Yes.
more growth. As you look out, what makes you the most excited about the opportunity and the landscape that you see in front of you?
Man, so up until now, well, I shouldn't say up until now, but up until the last, decade, the way consumers would go about their purchasing decisions is they would engage with a sales rep at the door, or they would have to base their decision on one or two inputs that they had, or they'd go to Google and trust that Google was presenting them with the right information. The connection between consumer and brand, that gap is closing. Consumers who are becoming the decision makers in their home and what they purchase is they're more savvy, they have more tools at their disposal, and closing that gap between the customer and the brand, take out Google, the middleman, take out Facebook, connect customers with the brand and give them the information to empower them to make a confident decision, but otherwise connect them with the brand. And so I just think where the predominant consumer or homeowner, as the younger generation who's savvy steps into home ownership, and then the tools that are out there, that there's just a huge opportunity to close that gap and really eliminate any of the stuff in the middle that's just creating noise. And here's the thing too, Todd, as we close that gap, let's say you take Google out of the purchasing process. Now advertisers, the end brand, they're also not having to pay an arm and a leg to get in touch with their consumer, right? It's no, consumer was told by their friend that they're the right company to use, and they're connected. And so anyway, so in short, I think just that gap closing where consumers can just get right to the heart of it and connect directly with the brands.
I think that's great. I mean, consumers are more savvy than ever. I read the other day, about Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours turns you into an expert in your field. Yeah. And someone proposed that there's two things that Americans now are expert in because of that 10,000 hours. One of those was watching TV, so much so that you can now be multitasking and doing several things while you consume. And the other thing that they are now pros in are shopping.
Yeah.
Because we've spent so much time doing that we now know how to do our homework. We know how to detect when a company deserves our patronage or not. And so arming them with the tools, because they're pros at this. Yeah. These customers are literally professional shoppers. And so we need to give them, everything that they need to trust our brand.
There was a lot of ways a brand could fake brand trust, right? Or buy brand trust. I just think consumers becoming more and more savvy, and the light is shining brighter and brighter on the truth about brands, the truth about businesses, through trusted reviews, through word of mouth marketing, and being able to hear quickly from your friends on what product they've had a good experience with. So there's no more faking it, right? And I just love the idea that the brands that actually care about their customers and that do a good job, the light's going to shine on them and the cream will rise to the top. And those that don't, who have been able to kind of hide or fake it, they'll be wiped out. And the marketplace deserves that. Consumers deserve that. So that also gets me really excited.
Just before I let you go here, as you look down the road at what Best Company is doing, what really gets you pumped about what's going on here at Best Company?
Yeah, so in closing that gap, providing companies with the tool that they can plug into that really helps their business, big and small. So from an enterprise standpoint, helping big companies automate their word of mouth marketing motion, small companies empowering them with the same tools that the big companies have, and just playing a role in that closing of that gap, and in shining a light on the good that companies do. That gets me super excited. I love how the development of product can solve big problems, and taking something complex and making it simple for the end user is always a fun challenge, and something that we're working on at Best Company. But we're uniquely positioned to do some really good things for the world of purchasing decisions and home services, and so I know it's kind of a general answer, but really just kind of starting to unlock that power, unleashing that power of word of mouth marketing by systematizing it for companies.
Landon, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Your energy is palpable, and how you describe a future where customers are empowered and connected directly with brands that they trust is really an exciting thing to look forward to, and that we're experiencing right now more and more every day. So it's been a pleasure to talk with you. Any parting words of wisdom that you would leave for our listeners and viewers?
No, thanks for having me. I don't by any means see myself as like a guru or anything. I'm just, I just am lucky enough to work with great people, lucky enough to be working on a product and platform that, that's solving a big need. And so, I guess the parting words would be going back to what I said earlier, everybody's got a superpower. Like, everybody who's listening to this, like you have a unique skill and superpower and strengths. Like, just keep going. If you're working on something or a problem, there's always light down the road. Just don't stop where you're at. Keep going, keep pushing. As you contribute along the way, like, doors will open, opportunities will open. And, so I don't feel like I have a ton to give in terms of, like, amazing insights or whatever, other than just keep going, keep working hard, be a good teammate, and things tend to work out. So take that for what it's worth.
I love it. I love it. That's great. Sage advice to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Landon, for joining the Word of Mouth Marketing Podcast here at Best Company. So great to have you. And for our listeners, thank you. And our watchers, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you were able to distill 4 or 5 key, actual practical day-to-day things that you can apply in your business today to grow and to really grow the right way, because that's what we're trying to do here. So thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Todd. Okay. See you. Bye.